Hi, I'm Priya, a junior in high school, living the balancing act that's being 16. And this is where real stories, real research, and real conversations all come together. Welcome to the Purpose Pro podcast, where we take the mic on issues that actually shape teen lives. Let's talk about something we've probably all joked about, whether out loud or just in our heads: being the main character. You've seen it on TikTok, you've heard it at school, and parents, you've probably overheard your teens mention it. Maybe you've even worried about it a little. But what does it really mean? Is it a meme, a mindset, or is there something deeper underneath? Is Gen Z confident, or are we walking a thin line between self love and feeling like we always have to perform our best selves? And what happens when that performance feels impossible to keep up? Well, today we're diving into main character syndrome, looking honestly at where the line falls between healthy confidence and harmful pressure to constantly look like you have it all together. We'll talk about how we can show up as ourselves, even when we don't feel like enough, without getting lost in the performance. So, first things first, what exactly is main character syndrome? It's not a diagnosis or anything clinical, it's more of a cultural label. Imagine acting as if your life is a movie and you're the lead role. This blew up on TikTok during the pandemic. You know, those videos, people walking slowly, looking thoughtful, romanticizing small moments like drinking coffee, making even their ordinary life look cinematic. It was kind of sweet at first, like saying, hey, your life matters, even the boring parts. But over time, that simple idea shifted. Suddenly, being the main character wasn't just a playful idea, it was an entire aesthetic. Everything had to look perfect, interesting, polished, and pretty soon it felt less like confidence and more like pressure. Pressure to always look good, to always be interesting, to always seem happy and in control. And when you're a teen already feeling like you're under a microscope, this pressure can feel overwhelming. It can start to feel like showing up as your real self just isn't good enough anymore. Social media definitely fuels this. We've all seen carefully curated Instagram feeds and perfect TikTok montages and Snap stories where everyone else seems to have it figured out. Even when we know these are edited highlights, it's hard not to compare. Psychologists call this constant self monitoring the contentification of life. In simpler words, instead of just living our lives, we feel like we have to make every moment look good enough to be posted. And parents, here's what you need to know about this. This kind of constant performance takes a real emotional toll. The American Psychological Association found that Gen Z teens who spend more time online than any other generation before experience higher rates of anxiety, depression, and self doubt. Nearly half say they're online almost constantly. That means constant comparison, constant pressure, constant stress. And teens, if you're feeling this, you're absolutely not alone. According to Pew Research, almost 40% of teens say they feel intense pressure to look good on social media. Over half feel pressure to post content that earns likes, validation, or attention. Even more telling, more than 40% admit they don't often feel like their real selves online. That means the pressure to perform isn't just something you imagine. It's something a lot of teens are experiencing every single day. Here's where we get to the heart of things: confidence versus ego. Confidence says, I know my worth, even when no one else notices. Ego says, I need everyone else to notice how worthy I am. When your self worth becomes tied to likes, comments, or attention online, it's not really confidence anymore. It's dependence. It's easy to slip into, especially when social media rewards visibility over authenticity. It's okay to admit it's exhausting. It's okay to say, actually, this doesn't feel good anymore. Because the truth is, real life isn't always neat enough to fit into an Instagram grid. And that's not just okay, it's normal. Now, I wanted to test this myself, so I tried a little experiment. For one full week, I didn't take a single photo on my phone. Instead, I only used a disposable film camera. And here's what happened: it forced me to slow down. Every photo counted, and I couldn't preview how they turned out. It made me pause and think, is this moment worth capturing? Even more important, is this moment worth experiencing just for myself without trying to prove it online? Here's what surprised me the most. I felt free. I laughed without thinking about capturing it. I listened harder. Moments felt real because I wasn't stepping outside myself thinking about captions or how many likes I could get. I was simply showing up in my own life without a filter. When the film was developed, some of the pictures were blurry or imperfect, but every single one was real. They reminded me that real life is messy, imperfect, and not always main character worthy. But it's mine, and it's genuine. And guess what? A University of Pennsylvania study backs this up, showing that people who take frequent breaks from their phones or social media feel less anxious and more present in their lives. So, teens and parents trying to support your teens, this matters. Taking breaks from performing our lives online actually helps us live them. Here's the big thing I want to leave you with today. Empathy is always more powerful than ego. The main characters we root for in books and movies aren't the ones who look the coolest or have the perfect lives. They're usually the ones who mess up, who learn, who show kindness, who let themselves change and grow. Real confidence isn't about performing a perfect life. It's about knowing you can show up even when things aren't perfect. It's believing you're worthy of being here even when you feel like you're struggling. Parents, if you're listening, your teens don't need to impress you or the world. They don't need a curated highlight reel. You don't have to fix everything for them. You just have to show up and remind them that they're enough just by being themselves. And teens, if you're listening, listen close. Your worth isn't measured by how good your life looks to others. It's measured by your courage to show up. They are seen, even when you feel loved, even on the messy days, awkward, imperfect, or invisible. Every effort you make to live honestly, even when it feels small, is enough. Whether you're crushing it, barely hanging on, or somewhere in between, you matter. Whether you post it or no one sees it, you matter. Whether it's Instagram worthy or not, right here, right now, whatever you can bring to the table, that is more than enough. Your story is worth telling, even if no one else is watching. Your small steps are still steps. Your quiet wins are still wins. And showing up, honestly, imperfectly, wholeheartedly, is always more powerful than sitting it out, waiting to be ready or perfect. So, next time you hear about main character energy, remember, it's not about looking the part. It's about living the part. Messy, real, and human, and believing that that's enough. Because it is, and you are. Thanks for being part of today's conversation on the Purpose Pro podcast. You'll find more thoughts and resources from today's episode linked in the show notes. And remember, keep showing up for your story one real moment at a time.